this quick tip, we're going to explore the Edit Special Actions feature in Remote Desktop Manager for Windows. This feature allows users and administrators to modify entries in ways that go beyond their normal configuration settings. We'll review where to access these special actions and walk through the different categories that are available. The Edit Special Actions option can be accessed by selecting any group or number of entries, and then once we're ready, we can right-click and select Edit and Edit Special Actions. Keep in mind that the available actions listed here will depend on the type of entry you've selected, so the list may vary. Under the General category, several options are available. Change Color allows you to modify the icon color of entries, as long as they are part of the default Remote Desktop Manager icon set. Custom PowerShell command lets you execute a custom PowerShell command to perform various operations on selected entries. Detect MAC addresses retrieves the MAC address of selected machine entries and fills the appropriate field in the asset section. Load from system information populates the asset section of the entry with system information. Lastly, in this case, we have the move selection in a new folder, which moves selected entries into another folder. If I had selected a credential entry, you would also have the move to existing password list option, which relocates selected credential entries into an existing password list. For website entries or web-related entries, there are additional actions that you can take under the web section. The first option is Assign Favicon, which assigns the relevant favicon to selected website entries. You'll also have the Discover HTML autofill, which attempts to detect and populate the HTML login information fields of selected entries. Set Default HTML autofill fills in the username ID and password ID fields with their default values. The Convert To category provides several conversion options. However, the ones that are available in the list will likely depend on the type of entry that you select. So for example, in my case, I've selected an RDP entry and I got a Convert To a Website option. Again, depending on the type of entry that you've selected, this option may or may not be available, and there are other options that may present themselves instead. Just so we can see the differences a bit more, if I select credential entries instead and go to Convert To, you'll notice here that I have the ability to convert these credentials into a password list, convert it to a website, convert it to an API key, or convert it to a login account. Under the Extractor category, you can break out components of an entry into separate linked entries. Extract Credential Entry, for example, creates a new credential entry from the existing one and links it to the host. For password lists, it can extract individual items into multiple credential entries. Now, the same idea would also be true if you go to a different type of entry. So for example, if I go to an information entry, I might get an option that says Extract Merged Information Entry, which will then separate different parts of that information entry into distinct entries. What this means is that rather than having, say, 5 information entries merged together, that extractor would then create 5 separate entries instead of having them all merged into one. This is also possible with VPN entries, contact entries, and host entries. Finally, under the template category, we have the Convert with Template option, which allows you to convert selected entries according to a template type found here. So if you have any existing templates, this is where you could take an entry, say like endpoint 01, and select any one of these templates in order to maybe change the type of entry you have, or simply convert the information or properties within said entries. So here we're able to select which entry parts to keep. So if we want to keep the host, description, custom image, tags, or whatnot, this is where we can check what information from the original entry to keep and which parts we want the template to actually change by unchecking said option. And then we can also add template sub-entries if they're there, or clear the current sub-entries if the original entry has said entries. All of these actions are designed to help administrators manage, reorganize, and standardize entries more efficiently within Remote Desktop Manager. If you have further questions, be sure to consult the documentation and knowledge base articles for more detailed information.